A brutal display of power tennis from Elena Ostapenko. She was well down in that second set, but she roared back.
6 points. That's it. Not 6 games, not 6 sets. 6 individual points stood between Alexandra Eala and one of the biggest upsets of this clay season. Against a Grand Slam champion on red dirt in just her second competitive clay match of 2026. And if you looked at the final score, 4-6, 5-7, and decided that told you everything you needed to know, then you missed the actual match. You read a headline and called it the story. But the story is buried inside the numbers. And tonight, we're digging it out. So put the phone down, turn everything else off. Because what happened on Court Central in Linz is exactly what the tennis world doesn't want trending. They want you to glance at the scoreboard, shake your head, and repeat the same tired line. Hard court player loses on clay to a Grand Slam champion. Simple, clean, convenient, except it's wrong. Let's pull back the curtain, point by point, stat by stat. Because when you actually run the numbers on this match, what you're looking at isn't a defeat. It's a statement. Start with the most fundamental truth of this match. Total points won. Ostapenko, a former French Open champion, the 4th seed, a woman who has built her entire identity on destroying opponents with a forehand that swings like a wrecking ball on clay, won 74 points. Eala won 68. 6 points separated them. 6. On a surface where a single bad bounce, a fraction of timing on a return, a second serve that catches the wrong part of the box, any one of those moments can tilt a whole set. 6 points isn't dominance. It's barely survival. Ostapenko didn't win this match comfortably. She held on. Now let's go deeper, because this is where it gets interesting. First serve percentage. Eala landed 88% of her first serves on clay in her second match on the surface this season. That's not a solid number. That's an exceptional number by the standard of any surface, any level of the tour. For comparison, Ostapenko, the woman who won the 2017 French Open and has played hundreds of matches on clay, put in 83%. Eala, the 20-year-old they've been calling a hard court specialist, was placing her first delivery more accurately than the Grand Slam champion on the Grand Slam champion's best surface. Let that land for a second. And on first serve points won, Eala took 52%, Ostapenko took 54%, 2 percentage points, essentially a coin flip. Neither player was breaking the other down when that first serve landed in. It was grinding, attritional, suffocating tennis. 2 players locked in the same trench, refusing to give ground. That kind of competitiveness against that kind of opponent on that surface, that tells you exactly what level Eala was operating at. But here's where the match turned. And I need you to pay attention to this part because this is the heart of the tactical breakdown. Second serve points won. Ostapenko converted 67% of her second serve opportunities. Eala converted 0. Not 20%, not 10%, 0%. Every single time Eala's first serve missed and she sent up a second ball, Ostapenko took the point. Every time. Here's why that happened. On clay, the ball slows down after the bounce. It sits up, it kicks higher, and a good returner gets more time to wind up and attack. Ostapenko, whose forehand generates the kind of heavy topspin that kicks past your shoulder like a fastball, was stepping inside the baseline and punishing every second serve with the kind of ferocity that simply left Eala nowhere to go. No recovery time, no rally to build, just an open forehand and a winner flying past her. But, and this is the part that matters most, that is a fixable problem, not a character flaw, not a confidence issue, a technical one, a spin rate issue, a placement issue. The difference between a second serve that kicks wide to the backhand and one that floats right into Ostapenko's strike zone. And where is Eala heading after this tournament? The Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, the one facility on the entire planet specifically designed to produce clay court weapons. the place where the greatest clay court player in history perfected every dimension of his game. If there's anyone who can help a 20-year-old dial in a second serve that neutralizes power returners on heavy red dirt, it's the coaching staff there. This isn't a crisis. This is exactly the kind of lesson that gets fixed in a week of focused practice and comes back sharper than before. Now let's talk about the breakpoints, because this is where you really see how thin the margins were. Ostapenko earned 9 breakpoint opportunities and converted 6. A 67% conversion rate. That's clinical. That's what a Grand Slam champion looks like when the big moment arrives. She doesn't flinch, she accelerates. She knows exactly where to direct the return, exactly when to go for her shot. That muscle memory was forged across hundreds of matches on this surface over a decade of professional tennis. Eala earned 9 breakpoint opportunities of her own. She converted 4. That's 44%. And here's the math that should make your jaw drop. 2 more converted breakpoints, just 2. And we might be sitting here talking about how a 20-year-old from the Philippines just defeated a former French Open champion on clay. 2 points. 2 moments where the ball landed centimeters on the wrong side of the line. That's the gap between a heartbreaking loss and a historic win. Look at the game count. Ostapenko won 13 games to Eala's 9, a 4-game difference. But the momentum swings tell the real story. Ostapenko's longest winning run was 6 consecutive games. An avalanche. When her forehand gets hot, when the winners start flying and the angles open up, she doesn't just pull ahead, she buries you. She won a set and a half worth of games in one ruthless stretch, and by the time it was over, the scoreboard looked completely different. That run was the damage. That was where the match slipped. But here's what Eala did next. She didn't collapse. She didn't mail it in. She came back with 4 consecutive games of her own. After absorbing a 6-game onslaught from a Grand Slam champion, she regrouped, adjusted, and fought her way back into the match. The second set went to 5-7, which means at some point in that second set, Ostapenko was serving at 5-5, 1 game from being pushed to a deciding third set. She was feeling it. You don't commit 11 double faults if you're relaxed. You don't miss that many second serves if your arm isn't tightening, your toss isn't drifting, your nerves aren't whispering in your ear. Ostapenko gave away 11 free points on double faults and still won. That is precisely how paper-thin this result was. Eala had 5 double faults, less than half. She was the more controlled, more disciplined server on the day. But on clay, a composed service game without a reliable second serve weapon is like bringing a shield to a firefight. You can absorb the early damage, but eventually, something gets through. The receiving numbers hammer the point home even further. Ostapenko won 35 receiving points. Eala won 34. 1 point. On return, they were functionally identical. Eala was reading Ostapenko's delivery, tracking the ball, attacking her opportunities, at the exact same rate as a 4-time Grand Slam finalist. The entire gap between them came from the service box. Eala's service points total, 34. Ostapenko's, 39. 5 points. Nearly all of it explained by that brutal singular 0% second serve performance. That was the match, and that's precisely why. I won't call this a failure. That's why you shouldn't mourn tonight. You should be genuinely excited about what comes next. Think about what Alexandra Eala just did in her second clay match of 2026. She matched a French Open champion on first serve accuracy. She matched her on receiving points. She earned 9 breakpoint chances against one of the most dangerous players on clay in the draw. She weathered a 6-game avalanche and immediately fired back with 4 straight. She pushed the second set to 5-7. She was 6 total points from pulling off one of the signature upsets of this entire clay swing. And she did it after spending January, February, and March playing hard courts on 4 different continents with almost no clay preparation time whatsoever. The tournament director of the Linz Open called her unbelievable before the event started. After tonight, that word doesn't seem even slightly exaggerated, and the calendar keeps moving. Stuttgart is next, then Madrid, then Roland Garros, 3 clay events at the highest level of the sport. 3 more opportunities to take everything. She learned tonight, carry it back to the academy in Mallorca, drill that second serve until the spin is heavier and the placement is surgical, and walk back onto red dirt as a sharper, more dangerous version of the player who nearly beat Jelena Ostapenko in Linz. When that second serve becomes a weapon instead of a vulnerability, the player who matched a Grand Slam champion in every other category and still nearly won, she becomes the player who wins those matches, one by one. The head-to-head between Eala and Ostapenko stands at 2 wins for Eala, 1 for Ostapenko. Both of Eala's victories came on other surfaces. Tonight, Ostapenko claimed the clay chapter, but this book has many chapters left. And the next time they meet on red dirt, Ostapenko will know, she'll feel it in her second serve motion, in the way she grips the racket on break points, that the player across the net spent every day between now and then at the academy where champions are built. Fixing the one thing that cost her this match. Zoom out even further and look at the bigger picture. Eala entered this clay swing with a career record of 14-21 on the surface. She won her first clay match of the season against Grabher in straight sets. She then pushed a Grand Slam champion to the limit and came within 6 points of winning. Her clay record is 15-22 now, but that's not the number that matters. The number that matters is the trajectory. The player who went winless across 3 clay tournaments in 2023, who dropped 6 matches on the surface in 2024, just made a former French Open champion commit 11 double faults and fight for every single game. That is not stagnation. That is rapid, measurable, undeniable progress. So here's what I'm asking the Eala army to do. And this matters more than it might. Don't disappear. Casual fans show up for the wins and go quiet after the losses. Real supporters show up louder when it hurts. Share this video. Not because everything went perfectly tonight, but because the world needs to see what actually happened in Linz, not just the score. Show 115 million Filipinos what their warrior looked like when she went to war on European clay and nearly rewrote the story. Come down to the comments. Tell me what you noticed in her movement tonight. Tell me how her topspin compared to the Grabher match. Tell me what second serve adjustments you think Mallorca needs to prioritize. Tell me how you'd approach Stuttgart, how you'd build a game plan for Madrid. I don't want tears in the comments. I want tactical breakdowns. I want analysis, because Eala doesn't make excuses. She makes adjustments, and neither should we. The narrative they built around her on, oh, clay is cracking. The wall is coming down, brick by brick, match by match. They said she couldn't win on clay. She beat Grabher in straight sets. They said she couldn't compete with Grand Slam champions on clay. She came within 6 points of proving them wrong in Linz. Fade 6, 5-7. 6 points, 1 fixable statistic, 1 academy in Mallorca, 1 20-year-old, who matched a Grand Slam champion in every category but 1. Stuttgart is in 5 days. The story is just getting started.